Glorious Ginger Greyhounds, it is time for us to talk about a recently impacted weapon that got hit with that buff, patch, and DLC last Thursday. And it was a weapon that, in my opinion, definitely needed a buff. Sometimes they go a little bit off the walls with these buffs. I'm telling you, it's like a roulette table in terms of what is going to get buffed any given Thursday, right? But we're here to talk about a weapon that is basically the SMG version of the Wombo combo. Y'all know how much I get down with the Wombo combo. That's my go-to auto rifle, go-to weapon. Love that weapon. And we have the Dark Beast essentially being its long-lost relative, because now with the way it behaves, it's giving heavy Wombo combo vibes without copying directly what it does. So if we actually go ahead and throw up the buff for this weapon, that's not the buff for this weapon. Silly. If you know, you know. But they went ahead and addressed a scaling issue, and then this next bullet point is one of the actual like solid changes, okay? Because anything, you can always just outright buff a weapon's raw damage to make it good. But in terms of actually changing how a weapon behaves or performs, are buffs that I generally like to see. I'm not saying I don't like damage buffs. Who doesn't like damage buffs? But it's always nice to see a more creative route for a buff, or a way to improve upon what makes that weapon supposed to be legendary, right? Explosion chance increased from 5% to 20% chance. So part of this legendary weapon's perk is creating explosions whenever it impacts an enemy. Now, with this buff, it's going to be happening 4 times as often, aka buffing how this weapon is supposed to be legendary and how it performs in game, rather than just giving it higher damage numbers. That is something I like and would love to see more of for certain weapons whenever they inevitably get buffed, whether it's new ones coming out in DLCs or more content later on, or weapons that we have currently in the game that just suck. Looking at you, Prince Harming. You're not escaping the stray, bud. And then, of course, the nice little cherry on top is a nice 15% damage buff. We'll happily take that. And in terms of how the weapon's perk really behaves, bullets pierce enemies, and now they have that 20% chance when hitting an enemy to cause an explosion that deals 3,800 damage. Basically. And this is how it is a relative of the Wombo combo, because it's going to be causing explosions, even though it has no Torg related anything in its weapon DNA whatsoever, but it does have explosions and splash damage, giving you another way to scale how much damage it can do. And if you get some nice little RNG to go your way, maybe get yourself that Jacob's license accessory. And honestly, something that's really been growing on me on more and more weapons as I get them is that the dataless secondary shotgun alternative ammo type, baby. This is basically the masher attachment inside of Borderlands 4, and for those of y'all that have gotten it on multiple weapons and have used it, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about and how heat of an attachment you can get. Like, honestly, this with a Jacob's license accessory is probably like a top 3 combo in the game, and it's not 3. Of course, this does drop from the Quake Thresher Varaxis, located in the Coastal Bonescape as an abandoned auger mine boss. Very easy to find though. Bro's just chilling in a cave. And this is a weapon that we recently did have a big encore for. So if you farmed it, odds are you have a really good Dark Beast chilling in your vault that you maybe didn't know was actually pretty dang good. And with that being said, fellas, it's time to move over to the live action portion of the video, baby. All right, you buckshot blasting behemoths, we got the heater for you today. So I know we already talked about it a little bit, but you know how we like to get down and talk a little bit more about the setup. Here is our specific Dark Beast. I know the corrosive, it's not really like the best element. It's only good against armor, and that's it. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, right? With Parlay, we have a 20% chance to cause an explosion when we hit an enemy. Bet that up. Free explosion. It's not even as a Torg license part. We're in there. As you can see, confirmed, does drop with Jacob's license accessory. That's really nice. But then the dataless secondary fire consuming shotgun ammo is something for some pretty nice stopping power per se. That bad boy in the pack punch machine came out with an underbarrel shotty. Master key. Let's get it on, my friend. Now, another thing that we gotta talk about, firmware is always, like, depending on what what weapon you're using, firmware is always going to play a nice part. For example, Binding Cloud, use Dead by Day if you could, but Deadeye is one of the universal firmwares, so it's just good on everything. No exception here. We got 3 out of 3 for a reason. And once again, dude, with this bad boy having that Jacob's license accessory, we get away with our scatter shot, leaper, sequencer, absolute disgusting combo. You can ricochet on non-crits, and sequencer is like a little great value pearl of ineffable knowledge, which is awesome. I love this enhancement. Now we are, of course, rocking that good old green tree Harlow to have this bad boy packing that heat because the thing is, we're going to be critting like crazy, entangling the enemies, having some extra free cryo damage. This thing will absolutely incinerate any armor and health bar. Trust me, especially on this build. And that's where we're starting the video at, my friends, for the live portion of the showcase. We're starting here. Now, we are going to use, I would say that this is like not where this weapon shines. It shines way better in a mobbing scenario. And keep in mind, right, the corrosive is not good against shielded, okay? I'm mainly just kind of brute forcing against this enemy, this boss right here, just so we can melt his actual armor bar. All right, so now watch this bad boy. So and then this weapon's not a bossing weapon in the slightest. Not in the slightest. And look at this thing. Look at it go! Yeah, you can put me in the corner, boss. Guess what? It does not matter, bro. A little sloppy kill because that guy's a freaking loser. But now let's go do some mobbing with this bad boy and let this thing really shine away. So you already know we are over here in a nice mobbing area section. This is where it's gonna shine the best. In a setting like this, watch this bad boy go to work. So right now we're just using the SMG mode, not even in the actual like the super strong mode, aka the shotgun mode. And you're seeing Evasion 5 shredding, pop it over the shoddy mode, and it's gonna struggle against electric health bars. Electric what? Shields? Hello? That is obviously because it is a corrosive rolled one that we have here, but it still just absolutely rips. The explosions give it a lot of stopping power for it to do its mobbing capabilities very, very well and efficient. Kind of similar to our favorite good old wombo combo, baby. But dude, it's honestly just really satisfying. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the COV on this one particularly, but like, it's chill. It's chill. Oh, this is one of those named enemies, right? It's supposed to be a bit more tanky than the other ones. That's for you. Hey, where'd he go, man? Oh no, his health bar. Yo, see ya, big dog. Ooh, you got 3 health bars, my dude? Yeah, that makes you a great testing dummy. And he's done. That's what I did. This thing is sick, dude. I know the buffs in this game can feel a little bit, I guess, sporadic in terms of like, sometimes it feels like they're just spinning like a wheel in terms of what to get buffed, what determines what gets buffed. With this one, I definitely felt like it was deserved in terms of a weapon needing a good buff. And I feel like it's a very unique way in which they go about doing it, at least in the fact of it getting its projectile explosion chances a lot more to happen a lot more often, rather than just, you know, giving it like 150% extra damage. Not saying dude, I'll be the first to tell you, brother, I do love me some good damage buffs. Okay, but obviously that's the easiest way to make something better, is to just buff its raw damage by a lot, to where at the end of the day, the best defense is a better offense inside of Borderlands games. And honestly, in both the main games I play, that being, you know, this one and Destiny 2, it definitely feels like defensive play styles, like they're, you know, they're good, but it definitely feels like, why would you need to worry about being defensive if you can just drop them and eliminate the enemies fast enough? And with how both of these games work currently, with both of their sandbox, that's kind of the playstyle that like is better, because you just eliminate everything before it even has a chance to mess with you in some sort of way. You're just absolutely dog walking everything with the best of best setups. Now granted, I'll be honest, bro, I feel like Destiny's skill is definitely more so in its movement and how you utilize the best of the best stuff, whereas I feel like Borderlands, the knowledge of how things interact, the damage formulas and the synergies, that's the skill gap. Because if I give somebody the best build in this game, or just, you know, best build on Rafa or whatever it may be, they're gonna just run through the game and absolutely stomp on everything. Okay? Whereas Destiny, if I take somebody into, you know, I give them the best, you know, Warlock build at the moment, which would probably be like the Fellwinter's Weakening build or like the Buddy build, and try to have them go solo flawless a dungeon or do a low man raid, they're definitely going to struggle a lot more, just because you have to execute. Like, Destiny requires you to execute on your knowledge, I guess is what I'm trying to get at least in my opinion. That's why I like to play, that's why I play both of them. Like, I get a different itch scratched from both of these types of games. Borderlands is a lot more like I'm just mogging right now. I'm chilling, hanging out, using a recently buffed weapon. It's dunking on everything. All I'm doing is just aiming and holding M1. That's chill with me. That's chill with me. And when I'm gonna put my, you know, put more pedal to the metal, I'll go do some, you know, difficult challenge on D2. Whether that be like a low man, a solo flawless. You know, I'm mixing and matching right here. And from what I can tell, generally people don't. I know a lot of like Borderlands people that like completely dunk on D2, which I mean, from an outsider's perspective, I get. As someone who has 7,000 hours on the game, like it scratches an itch that no other game does. And Borderlands does the same thing for me. Like Borderlands is a very fun and chill game to just play, farm some gear, get some really good loot, and then go test that really good loot on some bosses. And this game is confirmed to getting a takedown, some raid bosses, which is such a banger. Thank you. And just as someone who plays both games, I always find it really weird when one of the other, or the fan of the other dog, like hates on somebody or makes fun of somebody for liking and enjoying the other game. Like that's always just been so weird to me. Like they like that, okay, cool. Ain't harming nobody. Who cares? Let them enjoy their game. And I also know that for some people watching this video right now, y'all play both games. You guys get what I'm saying. There's no reason to be so toxic for no reason. I know it's the internet age and people are gonna just do that naturally, especially of the younger crowd. That's whack, bro. Anyways, you see why I like this Dark Beast now after its buff? It's pretty darn good. It's well, they say pretty darn gnarly. Yeah, you got dog walked. Golly, I do love me some Harlow. Harlow pairs really nicely with this weapon. Hey, where'd your thingy go, dude? Oh, you're dead. I guess low key, it's not gonna perform that well against the. I don't have any fire damage. These are non-armored bosses at the end of this Ripper drill site. Like, it's kind of a bit silly. Oh well, not gonna get the best situation every single time, but I gotta show it sometimes in a more neutral setting, or even a setting where it's weak. Although I generally try to avoid that. In my showcases, I really do like to have a really good setup for whatever weapon we're showcasing and like give it a chance to succeed. And if it's still dog shit, then we have a problem, Houston. You get what I mean? And see, all the crits on this thing is so nice because we got the Jacobs, we got the Entangles, so like it's just kind of guaranteed. And that is definitely something we will always take. See ya, bud. Yeah, I gotta make sure we have the good. Oh, see, okay. I forgot this guy Saddlebag does have an armor and health bar. I take a little bit back of what I said then. Oh, see, the COV mag, it's on this specific weapon, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Okay. My bad, OG. I was kind of sleeping on you, high key. Where's bro at again? Oh, yeah, there's bro. Brosif. Oh, you're doing that insane, like where you regenerate a lot of health really fast, huh? Yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot you do that. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, he tried to out heal it. Oh. And as always, fellas, you know I gotta give a huge shout out to the members of the channel. If you ever want to get your name mentioned in videos, all you gotta do is become a tier 1 member of the channel. Much love to our homie KJ42 for being our tier 3 member, brother man. Appreciate you so much. Hope you're doing well, boss. And much love to our homie Pikachu, our longest tenure member. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. You guys help go the extra mile. I very much so appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Y'all be safe out there. Do consider subscribing. I'll see your beautiful face in the next one. Yes, I will be playing a lot of Destiny 2 when Renegades hits. It's on, baby. Y'all take care.